Welcome. My name is Jessica Stickler, and this is Carolyn. And we're going to work on a couple of exercises to improve your chaturangas. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take two blocks, and we're going to put the blocks on the tallest setting, like a couple of dominoes, right at the top of your mat here. So, we're going to set up with the hands on the mat, fingertips just grazing the back edge of the blocks there. And then come forward onto hands and knees and set up for a plank pose. So stretch both legs out behind you. Make sure you've got good vertical alignment in the arms and good alignment all the way from shoulders, hips to heels. And then set the knees back down on the floor. Don't move the knees around again. It's going to be tempting to scoot them forward because they're way behind the hips. But don't move them. They're in exactly the right place for now. So now I want you to bend the elbows and touch the front part of your shoulders right to the blocks. Good. And then lift back up. And do it again. Shoulders to blocks. Look forward. That's it. And lift back up. Good. Shoulders to blocks. Pause there. Let the blocks hold the weight of your shoulders for a moment. Reach your heels back and lift your knees up off the floor. Good. Belly button lifts in and up. Legs are firm. Heels reaching back. Gazes forward of the mat. Good. And then rest the knees to the floor and take a rest for a moment. Sit back on your heels. Good. So the blocks are great because not only do they catch some of the body weight, so they give us that chance to feel our chaturanga alignment without having to hover in space and hold all of our body weight up. The blocks are also teaching us if there's a little asymmetry with how we're lowering into chaturanga. So you might notice, is one of my shoulders touching the blocks before the other shoulder is making contact with the block? And you want to try to even those discrepancies out and touch both at the same time. And then the blocks are also giving us a great measurement for how low we want our chaturanga to go. For most of us, at least those of us here today, the block is about the height of our forearm, approximately, give or take. So we don't want to be lowering so far down that we're going past the height of that block. So let's do another set with the blocks in place with all those things in mind. Go ahead and place your hands right behind your blocks. Good. Gazes slightly forward of your mat. Stretch your legs back to your plank pose first, and then knees to the floor. And then we've got the alignment that we need. Keep the knees there. Go ahead and bring the shoulders forward to touch the blocks. Good. And then lift back up. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Put your knees on the floor, and then lift up to hands and knees. That's it. Let me mention one more thing here. Sometimes when we go to bend the elbows for this exercise, we might be tempted to bend the elbows back or to the side or some other kind of way. One thing to keep in mind is if you set up the elbows over the wrists first and then imagine that your forearm bone is frozen in space, just keep the forearm bone vertical and move the upper body over that steady forearm bone. Now stretch the legs back into your chaturanga. Good. And see, her arm alignment is exactly perfect. Her forearm bones are still vertical to the floor. The elbows have 90 degrees. The wrists have 90 degrees. Good. Go ahead and rest. Knees to the floor. Perfect. Okay. Let's also look at the transition between your standing forward fold and your chaturanga. So this transition takes place in every vinyasa practice you'll ever take. So it's helpful to take a little look at this alignment. So I'm going to take a strap down on the front edge of the mat. The strap is going to serve as kind of our starting line. So go ahead and stand up on your feet and put your toes right behind the back edge of the strap. And so we want everything to line up with that strap every time if possible. Go ahead and fold forward. Good. Hands to the floor next to the feet. Now, the fingertips also need to line up with the toe tips. So you're going to take the back edge of the strap as your starting line for both the fingers and the toes. Now, do that little movement where we look up and prepare, right? So yeah, lengthen the spine as much as possible. Look forward. See how far forward her chin is now. I'm going to take a quarter just to mark it, and I'm going to drop that quarter right underneath where her chin is hovering now. Now, in the transition back to Chaturanga, I actually want her chin to stay hovering right where it is now as she hops back. Go ahead. Ah, see, in her Chaturanga, her chin is way forward. It's a really forward position. Go ahead. Go ahead and rest. Hold Chaturanga for 20 breaths. No. So you can practice with a coin in front of a strap so that every time you come into your preparation, your toes and your fingers are in the same line, and you're keeping your chin forward, and you're getting that sense of this forward movement that comes into Chaturanga rather than just back. You need the forward to balance the back. Okay, good luck with your Chaturangas, everybody.